In this video, we will be covering the gradient-intercept equation, y equals mx plus b. So the equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus b, where m is the gradient and b is the y-intercept. This equation is also known as the gradient-intercept form of a linear equation. It is one of the more common forms of a linear equation that you'll see. Again, y equals mx plus b, where m is your gradient and b is your y-intercept. Sometimes you will see an alternative form where it's y equals mx plus c, but again, it's a gradient and y-intercept. We'll now focus on some questions. The question asks us to find the gradient and the y-intercept of the line with equation y equals 3x minus 2. Y equals mx plus b. I am now going to write our given formula underneath it. Now that I can line them up, it's very easy to see what our gradient and what our y-intercept is. Remember, m is our gradient. In this case, m equals 3. And b is our y-intercept. In this case, b equals negative 2. The sign is included. Next, we have y equals x. So again, I'll write mx plus b. Down here, y equals x. We have no m value there, but we do have an x. So there is an invisible 1 there. So our m, our gradient, is 1. We have no b. In this case, we don't have a b, so it is 0. Alright? If you have a pronumeral with no number out the front, you can assume the coefficient is 1. In our case, m equals 1. Here we have another form. So I'll write our gradient-intercept form here. Underneath, I will write what we were given. Now to write this in a form that might be more easily to see, I'm actually going to change the x over 2 to 1 over 2 x minus 11. Alright, now we can clearly identify that our m, our gradient, is 1 over 2. And our b is negative 11. Alright, so remember, you can pull the x to the side and have 1 over 2 times x, which is the same as x over 2. That lets us identify the gradient more easily. Write the equation of the line with a gradient of 2 and a y-intercept of negative 1. I'm going to start by labeling what I know. I know m equals 2 and I know b equals negative 1. I can now write the formula. All I need to do now is substitute the values we know in. I know m is 2 and I know b is negative 1. So the equation is y equals 2x minus 1. I will do the same thing here. M equals 3 over 4 and b equals 2. I can now substitute in our values to get our equation. To recap this video, remember the equation of a straight line can be represented as y equals mx plus b, where m is the gradient and b is the y-intercept. Remember, if you have y equals x, this has a gradient of 1. Just because the 1 isn't there doesn't mean it's not there. If you have y equals x over 2, you can split the 1 over 2 out the front, so it's 1 over 2x, and this has a gradient of 1 over 2.